Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Wednesday, 3rd April 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Haitians in Miami show deep concern for their homeland as gangs take control. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. As violence continues in Haiti, Florida residents are concerned that family and friends on the Caribbean island nation are basically prisoners in their own homes. Associated Press shares these sentiments.
This is the worst that I've seen. I've never seen Haiti like this. I've never seen so much devastation. I've never seen so much. I've never felt so helpless and hopeless. While all this is happening in Port-au-Prince, the rest of the country is technically held hostage, right? Trying to find ways to get out of this dependence that they have on Port-au-Prince. Okay. Right now, for example, I have family in Port-au-Prince who are basically prisoners in their own home. They are in the heart of they live near Croix Bouquet, which is a gang, infested by the gang, and they're held hostage in their own home. They can't really go out because they don't feel safe. I mean, who wants to be in that situation? So it's heartbroken for everyone, and I think almost every Haitian, whether you're living outside of Haiti or in Haiti, is impacted by this. I mean, at some point it gets to be very traumatic. It's a very traumatizing situation for people.
In the meantime, the head of one of Haiti's most powerful gangs and the de facto head of a consortium of gangs that have brought Port-au-Prince to a standstill has told Sky News he would consider a ceasefire and talks on the political future of the country if they were included. Sky News' Stuart Ramsey was given rare access to the gang leader known as Barbecue and filed this report from Haiti.
He's not responsible for all the violence sweeping across Haiti's capital, but be under no doubt he's at the centre of it. His fighters are never far away. Is this now all your territory? Because it was an open road when I was last here.
Yeah.
Jimmy Chirizier, universally referred to here as Barbecue, is the head of one of the most powerful gangs in Port-au-Prince. But he's also the head of a gang consortium that's brought Haiti to its knees. He took us through the roadblocks of buses they put in place to stop police raids on his territory. That territory now extends over one of the city's main roads, an economic highway he controls in its entirety. Barbecue sees himself as a revolutionary for the people, and he rails against corrupt politicians and oligarchs. He dismisses all the efforts underway here to form a transitional council that will govern Haiti. But for the first time, he's told Sky News he would consider a ceasefire and talks if his people are represented. This is significant. Inside his territory, despite the poverty, life is relatively peaceful and organised. Unlike in much of Port-au-Prince, queues for food Barbecue gets brought in are orderly. Usually it's chaos. But here people wait knowing that there are enough supplies for the whole community. This is a source of Barbecue's strength. To the outside world, he may be a gangster, but here he's a sort of Robin Hood.
Well, we're right in the heart of Barbecue's gangland territory, and I have to say the atmosphere here is very different to large parts of the rest of Port-au-Prince. It's much more chilled, much more relaxed. there's aid distribution. It's not chaotic. What the sense you get from this is that people feel safe inside here. The battlefield is outside the barricades, which is over there. Here, this is much more like a normal town, if you like.
The road barbecue now controls is all but deserted. The signs of battle, the burnt-out cars and the deserted buildings are the visual signs of uprooted families who have been forced to flee in their tens of thousands. He says he's trying to rein the more violent gangs in. He says they need to change their ways or risk losing this revolution. But is it a revolution or just gangland violence? It's almost impossible to know. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Port-au-Prince.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
In association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Over the course of 8 days, from March 18th to March 25th, St. Kitts and Nevis experienced additional support in healthcare services thanks to the United States Air Force Southern Command Les Antilles Medical Assistance Team LAMAT mission. Andre Huey of SKN Newsline reports.
Over the course of 8 days, from March 18th to 25th, St. Kitts and Nevis experienced additional support in healthcare services thanks to the United States Air Force Southern Command Lesser Antilles Medical Assistance Team LAMAT mission. This initiative featured medical professionals from the U.S. providing specialized medical services in areas such as general surgery, ophthalmology, dental care, and audiology to the Federation's patients and medical personnel. The Republic of China Taiwan was a key partner of the mission, deploying medical professionals to support the U.S. team. Senior Minister Dr. Denzel Douglas said that collaboration between the medical teams from the United States and Taiwan with local healthcare providers was seamless, providing a model for future healthcare missions and international cooperation. He expressed gratitude towards the governments of the United States of America and the Republic of China Taiwan for their contributions, which have set a high standard for healthcare provision in the Federation. From March 17th to the 25th, the LAMAT 2024 mission, in collaboration with the Taiwanese medical professionals and local health officials, provided comprehensive care to a total of 265 accident and emergency A&E patients. In addition, 251 individuals received primary care services, while 344 patients benefited from dental care. The mission also conducted 136 audiology assessments, which included screenings for 8 newborns and undertook 24 surgical procedures. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
Meanwhile, a solar-powered water desalination plant offered to St. Kitts and Nevis by the United Arab Emirates, UAE, is about to be installed. Glenn Bard of SKN Newsline has more.
According to sources, the plant is capable of producing 76,000 gallons of water per day. The desalination plant, while described as a solar plant, will operate off the island's power grid during the night whenever necessary. Several ministers of government, including Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Denzel Douglas, and Conrad Maynard, Minister with responsibility for water services, turned out to the soil turning ceremony at the Canada Industrial Estate for the plant that was sponsored by the Caribbean Renewable Energy Fund of the UAE, with the government's input being connecting the pipes from the sea to the plant and from the plant into the water distribution system. The UAE will also provide a 3-month stint of training to water services in relation to the plant's maintenance and its operations. Construction is expected to be completed by the middle of 2024, officials have indicated. The Federation began entertaining water desalination after prolonged drought influenced by climate change brought about much lower levels of annual rainfall for several years. With rising demand for drinking water, the solar desalination plant is seen as very helpful, though not resolving the matter completely. Glenn Buck reporting for SK Newsline.
The head of the local Roman Catholic Church in Trinidad and Tobago has warned that too many inflated egos have created problems in the country and that many people have been led astray by the allure of power. Cindy Raghupatika Singh of TV6 News has more.
Roman Catholic Archbishop Jason Gordon says people continue to edge God out of their lives by maintaining a culture of ego that he sees present in the country.
If there is a challenge in our country today, it is that we have gone the way of ego. We have gone the way of ego. Even in our prayers, you hear the ego. Even in our families, you hear the ego. Who is top dog and who is not? Who calling shots and who is not? Who giving command and who is not? And the ego is killing us.
During this year's Easter Sunday Mass, the Archbishop called on citizens to humble themselves and find a way to let God in.
When we humble ourselves, there is no ego. And when there is no ego, there is nothing for Satan to hold on to. And God simply fills us with light.
He says people need to stop belittling others and stop living only for themselves.
The way out of the darkness that we are facing right now, the darkness of domestic violence, the darkness of the murders that we have experienced, the darkness of the crime that is rising, the darkness of that we're feeling in the recklessness of our living. The only way out of this darkness, brothers and sisters, is through the light of the resurrection, to shine this light brightly upon Trinidad and Tobago today.
Cindy Raghubatika Singh, TV6 News.
Over in Jamaica, where House Speaker Juliet Holness chastises House Clerk over the handling of the Auditor General's reports. Details in this TVJ News item with Anthony Lugg.
Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis on Monday revealed that she sent back the 2 reports which were returned to her office from Parliament last week. In an interesting twist, the clerk of the House of Representatives appeared to be facing the heat over the matter. In a letter obtained by our news center, House Speaker Juliet Holness accused Valerie Curtis of dereliction of duty. Mrs. Holness says, in accepting reports from the Auditor General on December 28 and January 8, Ms. Curtis failed to comply with her November 7 ruling regarding the tabling of reports from the Auditor General and Integrity Commission. Additionally, Mrs. Holness has asked Ms. Curtis to prepare a schedule with details of all reports received from the Integrity Commission and Auditor General since her election as Speaker on September 26, 2023. For the parliamentary opposition,
the Speaker is relying on a particular provision in the FAA Act, Section 30. Section 30 deals with public bodies, but very specifically deals with the audit of financial accounts. That's the only applicable section related to the audits. The 2 audits that have been done by the Auditor General are special audits of the Tax Administration of Jamaica and of the Financial Services Commission. Neither of those 2 audits are audits of financial accounts. So by sending them back to the Auditor General, she's acting contrary to the law.
Opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson further states that the matter reignites concerns about the Speaker's failure to disclose the legal opinion received from the Attorney General on how Parliament should treat with reports it receives.
If the Speaker is refusing to table reports from the Auditor General, based on, in our view, a flawed interpretation of the law, then you are in effect nullifying the role of the Auditor General, because there's no other way for the Auditor General's reports to get into the public domain and into the Parliament unless they are tabled. And it's a very serious constitutional issue.
Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's a service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.